hockey is a sport that is seemingly always swimming upstream, and despite its dominance on the continent, this has not always meant success off the field. To help us talk about this, we have the South African women hockey head coach, Giles Bonnet, who joins us now. Good morning, Giles. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much, Giles. Giles, let's first talk about you coaching the South African women's hockey team, because you coached for a while, then you left, then you came back. Talk to us about why you felt the need to come back into the structures of the national team.
I think there's a big opportunity to look at the South African team. We want to professionalize the team. We want to look at how we can create a world-class environment for the team to do well in Paris. We are attempting to create a high-performance center down in Cape Town where the team can be based. To do that, we are trying to attract corporates to support this endeavor. We're trying to close the gap between ourselves and other countries in the world. And we see that in order to do that, we need to do what they are doing, which is to be training more full-time and to have the players more accessible for our program.
And you touched there on wanting this high-performance center. You want to close the gap between yourselves and the leading nations in the world. What are things looking like from a financial point of view at the moment for this team?
At the moment, it's very difficult. The environment is tough. We are focused on our qualification in AFCON, which is a month away, and that's a priority for us. To do that, in order to create the funding, we have looked internally at creating clinics for ourselves, where we go into schools to create funding so that we can continue our program. While we still obviously engage with different corporates and different entities to support us on the longer term in terms of the journey to Paris. And while we do that, that means we can come together and we can train and prepare ourselves for the qualification, which is a very big event for us. We want to get that ticket for Paris because it's important for us as a South African team to be playing in world events.
You touched a little bit on the AFCON and just preparing for that tournament. Let's talk to how important the AFCON is for you as the South African national women's hockey team, and also just in terms of who we've been drawn against for the upcoming tournament.
Well, historically, South African women has done very well at this particular tournament. However, all the teams, we see that in different sports on the African continent, all teams are doing well. We see that with Kenya, with the rugby and the sevens. They've actually brought their teams out here earlier in hockey. They come out on the 10th, government supported, and they will be training here in Pretoria from the 10th. So for us, we don't underestimate any team. We are treating this as we would any other top tournament. But essentially, it's going to be Kenya and Ghana that are the two strongest nations that we will face. And we will prepare as we have for any other tournament for this particular event. We don't want to slip up at all going into AFCON.
And we do wish you the best as you go into AFCON and look forward to Paris as well. And Giles, just as I wrap up with you, I've literally got 30 seconds left or a minute. Talk to us about your thoughts on the state of the development of hockey in South Africa.
Yeah, I think that the state of the development of hockey, I think, is in a very good space. If we look at the schools, what's happening on super sport schools and in the schools themselves, I think we're comparable in school level in sport, not just in hockey, but with all athletes at school level, comparable to anywhere in the world, actually. And it's once we finish school that we have a difficulty, and that's where the gap opens up. And the reason for that is geographically, it costs us a lot of money with the exchange rate to travel and play international matches. So that's the big challenge that we face, is to continually close that gap between once we finish school. We've got some fantastic athletes. A couple of weeks ago, we had Lange, and we see some under 14 children there that are superbly talented. But where do they go? This is the big question. So, we've got to start to create pathways for young, talented players from South Africa. There's no doubt that South Africa can be a world player in all sports, but particularly in women's hockey.
Giles, thank you so much for your time this morning. Good luck for the AFCON and good luck as you look forward to your road to Paris.
Thanks very much.